and standout performances. Today, we're diving into the latest power rankings of the competition, where we've seen a shake-up among Europe's elite clubs. Starting at the top 20 of our list is Brest. Brest has exceeded expectations in their first Champions League campaign, winning their first two matches against Sturm Graz and Red Bull Salzburg, with Abdallah Sima scoring 3 goals overall. Despite facing tougher opponents like Bayer Leverkusen, Barcelona, and Real Madrid in the upcoming fixtures, Brest likely only needs one more win to secure a playoff spot. This achievement would be remarkable for a small club that invested only €10 million, £8M/$11M, in the summer transfer window. 19 Lille Apero. Lille started their Champions League campaign with a disappointing 2-0 loss to Sporting CP, which was worsened by Angel Gomez's red card. However, they bounced back impressively, securing a surprising 1-0 victory over Real Madrid thanks to Jonathan David's penalty. To advance in the tournament, Lille must maintain this form, but face tougher challenges ahead, including home matches against Juventus and away games against Atletico Madrid and Liverpool, requiring more upsets to progress. 18 AC Milan. Christian Pulisic scored 3 minutes into AC Milan's opener against Liverpool, but not a lot has gone right since. The Rossoneri ended up slumping to a comprehensive 3-1 loss at home to Arne Slot's side before losing 1-0 away to Bayer Leverkusen. However, Milan are undoubtedly improving under new coach Paulo Fonseca, who pretty much saved his job by beating Inter in the Derby della Madonnina, and, such is the nature of the new format, they have enough remaining games against weak opposition to cruise into the playoffs. 17 Sporting CP. Sporting has begun their Champions League campaign strongly, earning 4 points from 2 matches with a home win against Lille and a 1-1 draw at PSV, where a late equalizer from Daniel Berganca salvaged a point. They are well positioned for their upcoming match against Sturm Graz, especially with challenging fixtures against Manchester City and Arsenal on the horizon. Given their current form, it would be unexpected if the Primera Liga leaders did not progress to at least the playoffs. 16 Monaco. Monaco made a strong return to the Champions League by defeating Barcelona 2-1, with Nigerian teenager George Ilenikina scoring the decisive goal. However, their subsequent 2-2 draw with Dinamo Zagreb was seen as a disappointment, although given the challenging conditions and their comeback from a 2-0 deficit, it was still a commendable performance. With upcoming matches against Red Star Belgrade and Bologna, Monaco has the opportunity to secure a playoff spot before facing tougher opponents later in the tournament. 15 Benfica. Despite disappointment over the summer sale of Academy star João Neves, Benfica fans are thrilled with their team's strong start in the Champions League, winning their first 2 matches. Kerem Aktürkoğlu has been a standout performer, scoring the opening goals in both the 2-1 victory against Red Star Belgrade and the impressive 4-0 triumph over Atletico Madrid. With tough matches ahead against Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Juventus, Benfica has the chance to secure a playoff spot if they can defeat Feyenoord in their next fixture. 14 Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid made significant investments this summer, particularly in acquiring Julian Alvarez, but coach Diego Simeone is still working to establish consistency within the revamped squad. While Atleti remains unbeaten in La Liga and recently drew with city rivals Real, their European campaign began with a dramatic win over Leipzig, followed by a disappointing 4-0 defeat to Benfica. Clearly a work in progress, Atletico has the potential to challenge for a top 8 finish, especially given their relatively manageable fixture list. 13 Paris Saint-Germain. With Kylian Mbappe's departure, PSG has struggled to find the net in the Champions League, highlighted by a narrow 1-0 victory over Girona that relied on a late own goal and a disappointing 2-0 defeat to Arsenal. It's crucial for Luis Enrique's side to rebound in their upcoming match against PSV on October 22nd, as they face a challenging schedule ahead. While a trip to Salzburg may provide an opportunity to gather points, securing a top 8 finish will be tough unless striker Goncalo Ramos returns from injury and finds his scoring form. 12 Aston Villa. Aston Villa made a stunning return to the Champions League, starting with a dominant 3-0 win over Young Boys in Bern, followed by a statement 1-0 victory over Bayern Munich, a rematch of the 1982 European Cup final. With upcoming fixtures against Bologna, Brugge, and Celtic, Unai Emery's team is well positioned to reach the knockout stage. Now, the focus shifts to securing a top 8 finish, especially with Villa Park becoming a daunting venue, even for strong teams like Juventus. 11. Atlanta. Atlanta had the life frustrated out of them by Arsenal on matchday 1. But last season's Europa League winners simply overwhelmed Shakhtar Donetsk in their second outing, triumphing 3-0 over the Ukrainians. If they can maintain that kind of form, La DA have lacked consistency in Serie A so far this season. They should be guaranteed at least a playoff place by the time they play their two toughest games, against Real Madrid and Barcelona, allowing them to enjoy both. 10. Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund's chances of repeat expectations to reach Wembley. However, they've made an excellent start this season, following a 3-0 win at Brugge with a 7-0 thrashing of Celtic, putting them top of the group. Their upcoming matches against Real Madrid and Barcelona will provide a clearer picture of their strength. But with a relatively manageable fixture list, BVB have every reason to believe they can secure a top 8 finish. 9. Barcelona. Barcelona bounced back from a shock loss at Monaco. Eric Garcia's early dismissal played a key role, with a predictably facile victory over Young Boys, with informed forward Robert Lewandowski on target twice in a 5-0 win in Catalonia. The Blaugrana still have a multitude of financial and injury issues, but they're impressing under Hansi Flick, who might well be looking forward to the matchday 3 meeting with former club Bayern Munich. At the very least, he'll find out after that game just how far this Barca side can go in this season's Champions League. 8. Juventus. Juventus' decision to replace Massimiliano Allegri with the more progressive Thiago Motta is already paying dividends. The Bianconeri remain unbeaten in Serie A and hold a perfect record in the Champions League, having comfortably defeated PSV and shown impressive resilience in a comeback win over Leipzig, despite being down to 10 men. While their schedule remains tough, with the exception of Brugge away, Juve can realistically aim for automatic qualification to the last 16 under Motta, especially with Dusan Vlahovic in excellent form. 7. Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen faced heavy pressure late in their win over AC Milan, nearly paying for their wastefulness after a dominant opening hour. Nonetheless, Xabi Alonso's side has lived up to expectations as Champions League contenders, winning both of their matches, including a commanding victory over Feyenoord, without conceding a goal. Though they still face tough trips to Anfield and the Metropolitano, Leverkusen is well positioned to push for a top 8 finish, building on last season's domestic double. 6. Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich made a strong start to their Champions League campaign, thrashing Dinamo Zagreb 9-2 with Harry Kane scoring 4 goals. However, Kane was quiet in a surprising 1-0 loss to Aston Villa on matchday 2. Despite dominating that game, Bayern must quickly rebound under new coach Vincent Kompany as they face tough upcoming fixtures against Barcelona, Benfica, and Paris Saint-Germain. These matches will be crucial in determining whether Bayern secures a top 8 finish or merely qualifies for the playoffs. 5. Inter were left frustrated after last season's Champions League exit to Atletico Madrid, despite strong domestic form. However, they bounced back by winning Serie A in a Milan derby and are now looking formidable in this season's Champions League. Simone Inzaghi's side executed a solid 0-0 draw at Manchester City and followed it up with a 4-0 thrashing of Red Star Belgrade. With upcoming tests against Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen, Inter's strong squad makes a top 8 finish a realistic goal. For Liverpool, replacing Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool seemed like a daunting task, but Arne Slot has made a seamless transition, winning 8 of his first 9 games. The Reds maintain a perfect record in the Champions League, with Mohamed Salah leading the way in victories over AC Milan and Bologna. With their toughest remaining group stage fixtures, against Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid, set for Anfield, Liverpool are well positioned to advance directly to the last 16. 3. Real Madrid. When Real Madrid won the UEFA Super Cup with a 2-0 victory over Atlanta, powered by new signing Kylian Mbappé, they looked like a dominant force in Europe. However, their form has dipped since, highlighted by a surprising 1-0 loss to Lyon. While Madrid typically improve as the tournament progresses and are expected to reach the playoffs, their upcoming games against Dortmund, Milan, and Liverpool will reveal much about their true title credentials. 2. Manchester City. Phil Foden showed signs of a timely return to form as Manchester City picked up their first win of the league phase by sweeping Slovan Bratislava aside on Tuesday. However, Inter showed on matchday 1 that Erling Haaland and company can be nullified, while the subsequent season-ending injury suffered by Rodri has cast serious doubt over City's Champions League prospects, given the irreplaceable Spaniard's importance to Pep Guardiola's team. At the top of our list is Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's side might not be as flashy as in previous years, but their efficiency has been remarkable. They've earned 4 points from 2 tough games, including a hard-fought draw against Atlanta and a solid win over PSG. This young squad looks well on their way to a deep run in the competition. So there you have it, the latest power rankings for the Champions League 2024-25 season. With so many big matches coming up, expect more twists and turns as Europe's top teams battle it out for the ultimate prize. Who do you think will lift the trophy this year? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on all things Champions League. Thanks for watching.